Hi Booktube, I'm here today with the A to Z book tag. This was originally started by Perpetual Page Turner. It's a blog post, so I'll put the link in the description box down below. A is for author. You've read the most books from. It'd probably be at this point Robert Jordan, because I've read all 15 Wheel of Time books. B is for best sequel ever. I'm gonna have to say the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, counting that as a sequel to The Hobbit. I think it really takes the story to a whole other level. C is for currently reading. I'm currently reading The Fellowship of the Ring. If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things, The Little Princess, and Sweet Snow by Alexander Motyl, which is about the Ukrainian genocide, the Holodomor. D is for drink of choice while reading. Nothing really. I may have a water bottle. E is for e-reader or physical books. Either or. I do like physical books though. If I can get a copy of a physical book, I'd rather do that. F is for a fictional character you probably would have actually dated in high school. I had to think about this, and I actually realized that Perrin from the Wheel of Time series, his physical description kind of matches the boyfriend that I had in high school. G is for glad you gave this book a chance, and I'm gonna go with Latency Paradox of Barrett Trufflehard by Ultraquan. Because if a book is described as weird, they can come across as actually trying too hard sometimes. But this definitely didn't. It turned out to be one of my favorite books. H, hidden gem book. I'm gonna go with The Frankenstein Murders by Kathleen Bradshaw. It only has 12 ratings on Goodreads, and I'm really glad I read this. It takes the idea of Frankenstein and kind of detective following along in the footsteps, deciding whether it was actually Frankenstein who committed these murders or the monster. It's really, really cool. I, important moment in your reading life. I had to think about this. I'd have to say my last year of university, I broke out of my 19th century specialization. I was really concentrating on the 19th century, and I took some really good classics that really changed the way I read. So that's where I took a course that was solely on James Joyce. We spent a whole semester, I think that was like 4 or 5 months, just working on Ulysses, and his other works were in the previous one. I took a Canadian literature course at that time, which introduced me to James DeMille's Strange Manuscript Found in a Copper Cylinder, which is one of my all-time favorite books. I took a course in African drama, the complete works of Shakespeare, and I was really glad I decided to branch out because I was really getting sick of reading the same stuff over and over and over again. J is for just finished, and that would be Slate House by David Mitchell. It's the most recent book that I've actually completed. K for kinds of books you won't read, romance centered books. L for longest book you've read. Page count wise, it's Infinite Jest, which is 1,104 pages long, but word count wise, it's actually Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, at 565,223 words. M is for major book hangover because of, I don't think I get book hangovers. I've never consciously noticed. N is for number of bookcases you own. I have 7. I have 6 here in my living room. These are separate, top and bottom. And I have 1 in my hallway, which is for graphic novels, comics, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Stargate related books, and Doctor Who stuff as well, so it's like my nerdy shelf. O is for 1 book you have read multiple times. I'm not a big rereader. I'd rather read new books, but when I was younger, I know people are gonna hate me for this, but Harry Potter, I was obsessed with Harry Potter when I was younger, and I did read the first 6 books numerable times. I've only read the 7th book once because I really didn't like it. P, preferred place to read. I have a it's kind of a rocking chair. It's not your traditional rocking chair. It's more like an armchair that can rock. And that's where I prefer to read. I really like just being able to like lean all the way back, and just sit there and read. Q is for quote that inspires you, from a book. And I'm gonna have to go with one of my favorite books, The Count of Monte Cristo, by Alexander Dumas, and this is, I don't know if it's the last line, but it's one of the last lines in the book. All human wisdom is contained in these 2 words, wait and hope. R is for reading regret. I don't really regret anything I have read, even if I didn't enjoy it. I do kind of regret not picking up the Wheel of Time. Wheel of Time, Wheel of Time. Every answer for this is the Wheel of Time. People are gonna get sick of me. I'm sorry. I do wish I had picked it up earlier though. My friend read it in high school and well, she didn't complete it because it wasn't finished by the time we graduated, but I really wish I'd picked it up around the same time as her, so I'd had someone to, you know, go back and forth and talk about it in real life. S is for a series you started and need to finish, where all books are out in the series. I have one book left in the Gormenghast trilogy. I'm really looking forward to reading that. The Gormenghast trilogy by Mervyn Peake. It's about a castle. Really, it's more about the castle. The castle has more of a personality and more depth than the characters, but it is so, so beautifully written. T is for 3 of your all-time favorite books. Just pick 3. I'm glad it's not 3 your all-time favorite books, but it's 3 of your all-time favorite books. So I have to say The Count of Monte Cristo, which I've already mentioned. Gould's Book of Fish by Richard Flanagan, which is about a prisoner who's sent to Australia and ends up working as an artist. And lastly, Infinite Jest, which I think everyone knows what it's about. U is for unapologetic fangirl for Wheel of Time. I'm just gonna drop it. I'm not gonna say it again. V is very excited for this release, and I don't follow new releases. I don't know if you've noticed that on my channel. So yeah, that's it. Not very excited for any new releases because I'm not aware of any new books that are coming out. W is for worst bookish habit. Not to me, but to other people it might be upsetting. I love cracking spines. I love being able to bend a book around and hold it like that while I'm reading. X for X marks the spot. Start at the top left of your shelf and pick the 27th book. The 27th book from the top of this shelf over here is where I started, is The Brothers Grimm Complete Fairy Tales, which is the fairy tales, and it's got little illustrations in it. Y is for your latest book purchase, and that's Sweet Snow, which I've already started reading. This is about a novel of the Ukrainian famine of 1933. And Z is for Snatcher book, a last book that kept you up way late. It actually happened last night. I was reading If Nobody Speaks of Remarkable Things, and I just kept reading, and then I looked at the clock and realized it was midnight, and I was like, oh boy, I should have been asleep 2 hours ago. So yeah, that would be that book. So that's the A to Z book tag. Thank you for watching.